Welcome back to the Padilla family homestead. I am headed to bed. It is 11 o'clock at night, but I wanted to start this project because tomorrow I have a big gap in the middle of the day where I can bake all this goodies up, and so I'll finish out this video tomorrow. We are going to take this basic no-knead focaccia recipe. It is from Artisan Sourdough Made Simple by Emily Rafa, and it's on page 92. And we're going to take this and we are going to adapt it into 3 different, completely different recipes that are equally as delicious, just have completely different uses, and they're good at different times. So we're gonna make all 3. I pop a lot of this stuff in the freezer. One of them will be tomorrow night's dinner. The rest are pretty much going in the freezer. So let's get started. The basic for this recipe is the 50 grams of starter. I'm just going to do single batches. I normally make a double batch when I make this. We're going to do water, honey, all-purpose flour, and salt. That is the base. That is not changing for any of these. And then we're going to add in a few fun things. So let me go ahead. I'm going to set that up there. And I need my kitchen scale. Okay, so I have my kitchen scale. Everything's gonna be in grams. Just realized that battery is getting low apparently. Okay, so we're gonna zero this out, and we are gonna start with opening up our sourdough. It's almost time to switch jars on this. Okay, so this is gonna be my sourdough mixer here. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to put in 50 grams. I'm crazy for trying to do all 3 of these the same night. Okay, so we're going to do 50 grams in there. The other thing we're going to go ahead and add is the 375 of water. So the first one we're going to do is our pretty traditional loaf. We just make a few small changes to it. There you go. And our basic changes that we make is I don't use a regular honey in it. I use my honey that I've been fermenting my garlic in. And so I'm going to pour some of that honey into here. So I'm going to do that 20 grams. And it smells super garlicky. It has the extra fermentation in there from this garlic already going. Come on, don't go in there, garlic. Alright, I went a little over. Alright, so that's done. The other thing we are going to add in, this is an additional ingredient, is we're going to add about 7 grams of dried rosemary. Adding it in during this ferment and not just on top, you're going to get that flavor a lot more all the way through. Okay, so then all we need to do is add in 500 grams of flour. Oh, a little too much. Okay, so 500 grams of flour. And then we are going to do 9 grams of salt. I'm using Redmond's real salt. Maybe. There we go. Okay, so that's all that goes inside this one. So the only deviations we made was adding the rosemary and then adding in the garlic fermented honey instead of a regular honey. And those two things will drastically change the flavor. The other thing you can do is edit the flour you're using and do a combination. We have really liked the spelt. I started using this garlic fermented and honey with spelt flour. The rise, it doesn't get as poofy with the spelt, so I need to find the right balance there. But for right now, on this, basically it's an all-purpose, but it's has like the bread flour protein levels, and so this is supposed to be better for breads and stuff. I get this, what brand is it? It's Central Milling Company flour from Azure Standard. Okay, so this is the shaggy dough. It's just mixed up. This is ready to be covered. So that's, if that was all I was making, that would be as quick as this is. I'm just going to set this up here because I'm going to cover all of these with the same. I'm going to do a large towel today and cover them all with it. Okay, so next bowl, we're going to start back again with 50 grams of starter. Okay, got our 50 grams. And then we are going to add in the 375 grams of water. I don't have water boiled right now that has been sitting down and cooling. So this is my cheat, is be able to use this because most faucet water is chlorinated, which is unfortunate. Okay, so then for this one, I'm going to use this wild orange blossom honey. If you go a little over on honey, it's not the end of the world. That is the 20. Okay. And then for this one, we're going to go ahead and add in some peanut butter. So I have this unsweetened creamy peanut butter. It's got oil all over the top right now. So I kind of got to mix this in a little bit. It's more of a natural peanut butter without a bunch of additives and things that cause it to not separate. Natural peanut butter should separate. So this is, for the most part, our place is warmer. I only have a sweatshirt on except pajamas on. So it's just pretty easy to mix. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to take basically 3 tablespoons of peanut butter. Get out of there. I made the mistake of smoking out the house with, I forgot to turn the vent on the stove when I was making bacon. And we ended up, I opened the back door and we ended up with so many flies in the house. My husband has been killing flies for days and super miserable. So my last video, which was filmed earlier today, He was not a happy camper because you could see all the flies in the video. It was crazy. Even during fly season, we don't normally have this many flies in the house. Again, it was only because I had to leave that back door open for a hot minute. I had something in front of the window. Anyway, I have learned my lesson. Definitely have learned my lesson. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and add some cacao powder. I don't have a perfect science to this. I'm going to do what I think I did last time, which I did a double batch last time. So I should probably stop it there. I'm going to do about 7 grams of cacao powder. That's it. I'm not going crazy with it. We're going to go ahead now and add in 500 grams of flour. Then we're just doing an all-purpose. I'm going to have to reload this a little bit. Get out of there. All right. And then we are going to do 9 grams of salt again. Ooh, that was pretty close. One of these days I'll get it right on the nose. The last thing we're adding to this, which is another mix in, I already grabbed it, is chocolate chips. And we're going to add about 50 grams. I think that's what I did. Yeah. We're going to go 72 grams. And now we take this off the scale and we are going to mix this up. So basically, the things I added to this one were the cacao powder, the peanut butter, and the chocolate chips. Everything else was the basic. I did use wild orange blossom honey. That was the flavor profile I decided to go with this. But this will make a very delicious sweet, but not overly sweet. That peanut butter really makes it super savory. Oh, I might need to add up. I might need to add some more water. Interesting. I didn't have to add water before. I'm also stirring with a different utensil though. I'm going to go ahead and use my hand and really make sure this is incorporated. It should be a shaggier dough. I didn't add a bunch of extra. The peanut butter is a liquid. It's a thicker liquid, but it's a liquid. That's interesting. And the cacao powder was only 7 grams, so I should have set it off. I think I did add more cacao powder last time, but this will be just fine. The other thing I did before was I mixed that cacao powder and peanut butter really well in the water to make sure it was evenly spread throughout. but I'm gonna call this good. It's sticky, it's a little drier than normal, but I think we will be fine. So, it's a shaggy dough, but it's not like super wet. I could just add a splash, I might. Why not? Nope. Just a splash. We don't want to go crazy here. And then the gluten's already forming in this, so I'm going to have to, by hand, make sure that water gets incorporated into this. And it's definitely stickier and shaggier. Alright, this one's going to be good. So this is our dessert one. So we have got a very savory, this garlic fermented with rosemary. This one is the fan favorite when people come over. This is tried and true. Everybody loves it. That is what I serve. This one is new. I've been making this a few times. We're the only ones that have had it, but it is delicious. So I'm going to set this one aside. It is going to be ready to be covered, and we are on to our last one. And this one is going to become focaccia pizza, and that is going to actually be tomorrow's dinner. So I'm going to get my 50 grams. Oh, I did too much, and I'm picking it up and then re-dropping it. Like, really? That was kind of funny. Alright. It is what it is. What's in there is in there. So we have 56 grams of sourdough starter, and then we're going to add in the 375 of water. This time around, I'm going to do things a little different than I've done them in the past. I love experimenting with flavors, and I feel like the flavors that you put into the dough just elevate whatever you're making with that dough that much more. So we are going pizza. That is the plan, and so it's going to be a take on pizza. It's not going to be a perfect pizza, but I am going to go ahead and grab some oregano. We're going to go ahead and add in, geez, I feel like 5 grams is plenty. That's probably way more than enough. It's going to be very oregano. So rosemary is way heavier than oregano is, so you get way less in it than you would. It's just like almost double the amount of rosemary I put in. Because I'm doing the pizza, I'm also going to do this garlic fermented in honey. You can do any honey you want to. You don't have to have this one. But this sounded like a good idea when it comes to pizza. I want this piece of garlic to stay inside the... Okay. So, we got our honey in there. And now, all we need to do is add our flour and our salt. I'm going to go ahead and take this and just mix that in again. This is what we should be doing before we add in the flour. That's okay. There's so much oregano in here. Let's see if I have enough. Going for that 500. And not enough in there. So I'm gonna get some more. Okay, so I have some more. We're gonna top this up to just over 500. Put that back in there. And then we're gonna add our 9 grams of salt. You really want to make sure you have salt in these. Let's see. I think I went over that time. So close. So close. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead now, take this off the scale. That helps the longevity of the life of the scale. Not to mix on there. And we're going to go ahead and mix this in. Part of the difference with the mixing is I don't have the dough whisk like I have in that one. And that dough whisk makes a big difference when it comes to mixing things up. Actually, it's similar enough in flavor. I'm gonna pull this out of that one. This dough whisk makes a huge, huge difference when it comes to stirring. I'll make sure I attach an Amazon affiliate link for it below. The only downfall is, like that bowl, I've used so many different things in it. It has silver marks on the inside. This is not really a mixing bowl that I'm using. It's a serving bowl. And so I really don't want silver marks. And we are back to being shaggy. Look at that. Shaggy, shaggy. So, 30 minutes. It's about what it took me. It is 11:31 now, and I am just going to cover stuff up. I need to feed my sourdough before I go to bed, because now I've taken from it. I need to feed it. And then I'm going to cover these with one big damp towel and let them sit until we are back together tomorrow. You guys have a great night. Okay, so we're at the time. Woo, we're gonna uncover. So I finished these about 11:30 last night, and we are at about 2:40 p.m. the next day. And so usually what you want to do for best practice is 12 to 18 hours of letting these bulk ferment. And then we're going to prepare the pans, put them in the pans, and let them rise another hour or two. I don't have time to do that today. So what we're going to go ahead and do is they have been fermenting for 12, 13, 14, 15-ish hours. I can tell by looking at them that they are going to be fine. So they have definitely come up in size. This one's like super jiggly. This one's not as jiggly, but it's there. And this one's definitely doing its thing. This was the one that was harder. So they've definitely come up in size. Now these are going to take about, it should take 25 to 30 minutes. But with our oven, I have found that it takes 35 to 40 minutes to cook. Focaccia, you usually cook it in oil. We're still going to do that. But my trick of the trade, and I'm going to get all of these into pans and then we'll worry about the topping. My trick of the trade is to put butter in the pan first. That is how we work miracles and stop things from sticking. So I'm going to go ahead and take some butter, and I'm going to coat the bottom of this pan first. I just have a round glass pan. We're doing a single serving of each of these, and so a small one like this would work, or a cast iron. I'm doing, this will keep it pretty thick. I'm going to do the longer ones and have them be thinner in there, like the pizza ones going in the really big one. So I'm going to get these other pans over here. Alright, so this is my really long one I'm going to do. I'm going to butter this pan. It was still a little wet. So well. There's something about the butter that just helps this release. And then one last pan. We're going to do a medium-sized pan here. And just get that buttered up. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in some avocado oil. It's a couple tablespoons per pan. This longer one I'm going to do 3 in. And we will go ahead and start emptying these out. So let's see. I'm going to do the dessert one and the round one. You can see the strings as I pull away. That is showing the fermentation and the rise and the air getting in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up now that it's in the pan, and I'm going to flip it over and kind of push this out. This has definite room to keep growing. Still a little stiffer than normal. So it still has room to keep growing. I'm going to leave this one alone. This will be the last one we cook. I'm going to wash my hands though, because I don't want to put peanut butter in some of these other ones in case I share and somebody's allergic to peanuts. Okay, so now in this long one, I'm going to do this oregano one. Oh yeah. This one's going to be ready to go in, which is wonderful because I'm hungry. All I've had is a piece of peanut butter bread today. Alright, so again on this one, I'm going to pick it up. This is what the other one should feel like. It should be super puffy. My finger should really press into it, and it's not doing that yet. So this is kind of the look we're going for. This is going to be the pizza one. So I'm going to go ahead and really stretch this one thin. If we wanted a thicker, like deep dish pizza style, I would have done a double batch. This will still rise up a lot. Okay. But I'm pushing in. It's holding some of those indents. This is good. Good stuff. Okay. So this next one is the regular one. And it is, oh yeah. What did I do on that other one? Did I add way too much flour and not reset something? Like, that's crazy to me. Poofy, poofy, poofy. If you are not poofy like this, don't put it in the oven yet. You want to get poofier. Now, if you're not using all-purpose flour, you're using a heavier flour, it may not get super, super poofy, but you should be able to get a pretty good poof. So if you get to this point and you're putting it in the pan and we're not quite poofy, then just don't put it in yet. Let it cover it and let it rise another couple of hours. And then you can work it out at that point in time. But both of these are super good texture. That one needs more time. I'm going to go run out to the garden and grab a couple of things for these. I will be right back. Okay, so these can be done so many different ways. On the pizza one, we're going to do the pizza one and the regular one first, and we're going to top both of these. Let's go ahead and top the regular one. You can do peppers and tomatoes and garlic and onions and all different types of greens from the garden. And so I said peppers. You can do nasturtium leaves and flowers, edible flowers on here. You can make this as pretty or as basic as you want to make it. I have made some pretty cute ones. I'll try to pop some in here so you have an idea. I try to do some. I think I did a turkey one time. I don't know if I'll be able to find that one. A cross one for Easter. We have done all different types, and I even wrote with beet powder 2020, I think it was 2023 for New Year's that year. And so there's so much that you can do to artistically now make this your own. That's the step we're at, is the artistic side. I find that if I'm going to serve it and I want to make a statement, then I'm going to do crazy artistic. If I am going to make this and my primary goal is to freeze it, I'm going super basic. So that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm going basic. I'm going to grab some rosemary. Now you can use dried rosemary, totally fine. I just happen to have fresh rosemary right now. So I'm going to take the fresh rosemary off of the sprig. Now this is the one that has rosemary in the dish, okay? So just keep that in mind. The fun thing about the fresh is there's lots of oils in these right now. It's a different layer, and I'm just gonna sprinkle. I'm actually gonna turn the camera down so you guys can't really see me. You can see this. So rosemary sprigs everywhere. You can make that as thick or as light as you want. You can put cloves of garlic in here. I'm not messing with that today. So I have a tub of some minced garlic here, and I'm just going to take some of this and put it on top. It doesn't matter if the oil gets in it. I'm going to just use a fork and kind of splatter some. That oil is just going to elevate the dish. And then I'm going to take this kind of spread that garlic out all across the top, so every little piece is going to have some garlic in it. And then my favorite salt is this flaky Celtic Flower of the Ocean salt to use on the top. Any flaky salt's going to be great. And we're going to just sprinkle this across the top. Strong enough that it's still going to be there and not lose its texture and be absorbed, but it's thin enough that it doesn't feel like you're biting into a rock. I'm just going to press this in, making those indentations. You can let some of that oil go in over the top that's left in there. Okay. Sometimes if I feel like I didn't put enough oil in, I'll drizzle over the top. This is fine. This garlic is really going to stand out. That's all I'm putting on this one. It's a very basic topping. So we can go ahead and get this one in the oven. And we're going to set the timer for about, we're doing them thinner, so I'll go ahead and do the 30 minutes and see what we do. So the next one I'm going to work on is this pizza one. I'm going to add some more oil to the top of this guy. I think it needs it. I should have this covered since I'm not working with it. That's okay though. So I'm going way off the beaten path with this. That is what it is. So pizza, there's oregano inside. I really like basil. I love the crunchy basil on top. So we're gonna put some basil in here. In the past, I have put tomato sauce down. I don't really have a tomato sauce right now. Actually, I have a spaghetti sauce. Ooh. Yeah, let's take those off. I'm going to use the spaghetti sauce. So I'm going to use this roasted garlic spaghetti sauce and put that on top. Alright, so the thing to remember, just like pizza, is where you put the sauce, it may not rise as much. This will still rise, it's got air in it, it's fermented, but it may not rise as much. So when it comes to focaccia, I like to keep this all the way to the edges pretty much. We're also not a huge saucy family. So I'm going to do some of this, spread it out, and decide if I need more. I'm not going super thick. Okay. So give a little bit of sauce kind of everywhere. On this edge over here. Over there. We're gonna call that good. Alright, so the other thing I'm gonna do is do a combination of cheeses, because this is what I have. I have a smoked cheddar that did not defrost in time out of the freezer. So I am literally just going to take some Colby Jack that my husband got for sandwiches. We haven't used it yet. And I'm going to put some of this down. We normally do not have pre-sliced cheese in the house, but I need to actually buy some regular cheese. All we have right now is smoked cheddar and this Mexican cheese. Alright, so we'll do that amount. You can add shredded cheese. You can do mozzarella.com on this. But the goal is you can make it your own. That's like the thing that everybody forgets. They get so stuck in, this is pizza. But, you really get to make this your own. Okay, let's take some of this crumbly cheese. I've never done crumbly cheese on here, so we're going to see how this turns out. This is my dinner tonight, so I'm hoping it turns out good. It'll just add some creaminess and saltiness to the top of this because this cheese is salty. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and add in our basil. This is just a snacking pepper. So we're going to go ahead and add this pepper in. I have a couple of these jalapenos where it looks like a jalapeno, but there's no heat. So just for looks, we can sprinkle a couple of these peppers on. My husband will be like, what the heck, she put jalapenos. No. No spice here. I was hoping my habanada was ready because I really wanted to try the habanadas on here, but they're turning color. They're not quite there yet. Okay. So we'll go ahead and call that good on that. And yes, we have tomato sauce. But that doesn't mean we don't need some bright, fresh tomatoes in here. These roasted tomatoes really pop. They will roast up and become just beautifully flavored. Now again, you can do as little or as much as you want of stuff. This time I'm going to put the garlic in my hand, and I'm kind of going to just, because I can't spread it out now. I should have put that on first with my sauce, but that's okay. So we had some roasted garlic in here. We're gonna salt the top of this, just like any other focaccia. And then because I want some sort of meat on here, I have these bacon pieces that I had previously cooked and frozen. And so I'll take some of this and sprinkle it across. I've never added this bacon before. My husband's really going to want meat on pizza, and bacon just makes everything wonderful. So it's already pre-cooked, so it doesn't really matter. You could put pre-cooked chicken, sausage, whatever you want on top of this. We usually do veggie heavy, but I have a feeling we're going to want some of this today. So I'm going to push some of this in because it's focaccia and we want pockets, air pockets in here. So I'm just pushing some of these items in to where they're almost like touching the bottom. When I push other things, some will pop up. It is what it is. Some will sit on top. It's not the end of the world. Okay. This is ready to go in. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover this just loosely so no flies get on it. That's my only concern right now, is I don't want flies on it. So we're going to cover that loosely, and we'll come back to this when these are done. Okay, since we have this one out, we're going to go ahead and just get this one started. This one's super easy. This has the least to add to it. I'm kind of going to check. Oh yeah, we're getting squishy now. So before this was like extra dense, and you could kind of tell like the top is a little extra. But I think it just needed more moisture. So it's still a little more dense than the other ones, but this is going to be just fine. And this is going to poof up and be really thick. I actually could put this in a thinner pan, but I'm not going to. All we're going to do is add salt to the top of this. Salt accentuates the sweetness. It's what this needs. It's a salty sweet treat. And then because of how much this has been absorbing that oil, I'm going to go ahead and drizzle it with a little more. That is all we are putting on the top of this, is just salt. After this comes out and when you serve it, that's when you're going to top this one with anything extra. Oh yeah. Okay, so a couple things we're looking for is we don't want this to be raw in the center. You're going to have dips, and that's going to be okay, but you want to make sure it's cooked, and this is. You also want to make sure it's brown all the way underneath. This one's harder to tell that with, and so will the chocolate one be, but this looks pretty good, I think. The telltale is going to be the bottom of the pan as well. Color across the bottom. But yeah, totally golden. Oh, I got tomato on me now. Okay, so butter. Why we use butter? This right here is why we use butter. For the most part, this is already pulling off. We just need to unhook the sides, and there'll be a couple of spots on the bottom, but for the most part it releases so much easier now. It's just the center portion that is still stuck. Alright, so then you can pick this whole thing up and put it on a cutting board and slice it and have it served that way. I like to make sure it's released on this style bread. That way I can cut it up and get it in baggies. This one is going to be harder to have it release. I also need to make sure it's cooled down. Even though we buttered this really good, I didn't butter the edges. Oh, that wasn't smart. But we have the tomato burnt on. This is still absorbing the oil right now and resetting itself. So for the most part, we'll leave this be. It should still release. Yeah, I'm going to leave that be for a few. I am really excited to eat this. One more focaccia to go. Okay, we've given it a few minutes. Oh, it's still hot. I'm going to try to break into this because I actually leave for work shortly. And so I would like to eat some. Oh yeah, the bottom's still releasing just fine. It's just the edges that are the dilemma. I'm going to break into this. Because I am starving Marvin. And I need to leave for work in like 15 minutes about. And I still have to change. Oh. Ow. Hopefully we are cooked all the way through. This is much easier if you let it cool, guys. You should be letting it cool. Oh yeah, I can see the cheese on there. First I thought it was raw. But you can see the layer of the bread here. I'll try to zoom this in. And then the melted cheese. Oh, buddy. This has me so excited. How am I going to do this? Sure, I'm going to let that cool for a minute. Oh, yeah. Guys, I am so excited about this. I don't know why I didn't think to use spaghetti sauce in the future. I mean, in the past. I will be using it in the future. It is just so good. Oh yeah, my heart is happy. The other one's about to beep. Oh, there it is. That is the last one. Let me check the bottom. Yeah, we're golden all the way through. I'm a happy camper right now. My house smells so good. Okay, because I gotta get out of here. This one I'm just gonna cover. The chocolate one I'm just gonna cover. I'm gonna allow those to cool, and I'll deal with them tonight. This one, I'm not gonna just cover it and allow it to cool. I need to get it out of its pan onto something else and into the refrigerator so it starts to cool down. Well, it needs to start to cool down ahead of time. It already is cooling down a little bit, but I can't leave this one out this same way. I could probably leave it out a couple of hours, but because of the dairy on it and the bacon and all the things, I really want to get this one in the fridge, and we're going to treat this just like pizza, but fresh pizza. It is so good. This is my best one I've made yet, and I've liked the ones I've made in the past, but this one is top notch. So I'm very, very excited for this. I want you to try this. I am going to spend the next couple of days, any of my uptime, I have a bum foot right now, any of my uptime I'm going to spend just cleaning, because I need to clean all the nooks and crannies of everything. I've got flour all over the place. I've got a lot of stuff going on, and so I need to deal with that on any of my uptime. The next video may be a garden one, and maybe back in the kitchen. I have a whole list of inspirational things that I'm going to be working on. Guys, focaccia is where it's at. So you can sourdough focaccia. I think it's amazing. I think it's healthy for you. But homemade focaccia, whether sourdough or not, is still really good. So here are some ideas for different ways that you can treat focaccia. This chocolate one with the peanut butter, if you were going to be serving that, I would take that out and put it on a platter, drizzle some honey across the top, and drizzle a little bit of peanut butter over the top. And that is just going to just finalize it, give it that cuteness effect, but also finalize those flavors. It's really good by itself. However, I think that adding that little bit of honey is like great for me. I'm not doing that to the top of this right now because we're going to freeze the pieces, and if my husband chooses to eat it, he's not going to add the honey to it. So I want to make sure that I have it friendly for both of us, because I'm not eating all that by myself. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go get myself changed and ready for work, get this stuff in the fridge, because I am a happy camper. I'm not going to eat each of these pieces because I don't need to eat each of these pieces right now. Actually, I'll take a little piece of this one. This is my tried and true. I do this every day. Not every day. I do this a lot. So, this is what I do with soups, with any meal where people are coming over. I have this ready to rock and roll. This one's still cooling down a little bit. I'm just going to take an edge. Ooh, it's hot. I'm trying them because I don't trust people who don't try their own food on video. That is really good. I think what I did that was different was I added extra peanut butter and it thickened it because I could definitely taste more peanut butter this time. Delicious. Make focaccia. Focaccia is amazing. So amazing. I'll see you guys back on the next video.